70% of all that we had to offer. We therefore need a national export strategy, a solid plan to broaden our export base and to find new, more rewarding markets, and not least, brand our products appropriately. We need growth to bring Kenya the high standard of living their hard work has earned, and we need growth to create new, rewarding jobs for our young people. That won't happen unless we grow our exports, and we can't grow them without answering the three challenges just set out. That is the problem we have to solve. I start with the last. We have long known that we need to develop iconic Kenyan branding. The Made in Kenya brand we launch today will, we hope, set Kenya apart as the home of a set of products that meet the needs of discerning buyers across the world. Manufacturers, producers, and smaller business will, I trust, take advantage of the new mark to promote their products in new markets and in old ones. The better to win for us the attention and sales we deserve, and to win more of the value of their products. Our mix of policy and international engagement reflects our long history of successful trade. We are members of the Common Markets for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA. We have long been committed to the integration of the East African community, and we, under the Cotonou Agreement of 2000, have duty-free market access to European Union for most of the products originating from this region. Our trade partnership with the EU under the EAC-EU Economic Partnership Agreement remains strong, as does our agreement with the USA under the African Growth and Opportunity Act, which opened up that market for thousands of products in our country. To meet the challenges mentioned earlier, we have to re-examine these partnerships and see how we can make them even more productive. That is precisely the aim of our AGOA strategy and action plan we launched today. We look to it to guide our efforts to raise the volume of our exports to the US and to widen their range. I wish, on behalf of the Kenyan government, to thank the government of the United States for its support in the development of the AGOA strategy, and we look forward to our continued collaboration. Equally, with support from the Department of International Development of the United Kingdom through Trademark East Africa, we have developed a new export development and promotion strategy, focusing on those areas where Kenya already has endowments and comparative advantage, and we are grateful for their support. Now, this strategy identifies 8 sectors that together have the potential to triple Kenya's export share of GDP from 8 to 25% by the year 2022. The plan is ambitious, but the good news is that it is achievable. Consider the sectors selected: manufacturing, agriculture, livestock, fisheries, trade in services, emerging sectors such as oil and gas, and so on. In each, we know that with careful planning, we can raise our production and our quality while creating jobs for our people. Again, we shall have to seek out opportunities. We can't expect them to come to us, as was said earlier by Paris. That means we can't rest content with the usual markets or rely on domestic consumption. After all, the markets outside our borders are far larger than those within. That is how to grow exports. If we adhere to this plan, working across government and with the private sector, we can expect Kenya's exports to grow and to find new buyers right across the world. Indeed, the strategy requires us to pay keener attention to the development of export markets and products, to export promotion, and to the quality of our supply chains. These should be responsive to bilateral, regional, and international market opportunities to ensure direct links to destinations markets. The strategy has my full support. We will consult carefully with the relevant branches of government and with the private sector, but let me indicate the changes I would like to see. First, we as a government have agreed to establish the Export Promotion Subcommittee of Cabinet to spearhead the execution of this strategy to diversify and grow our exports. I must also insist that the time has come to take a new look at our compliance with international standards. Growth in Kenya's exports has been slower than we would prefer because we haven't always met external standards. We cannot afford to be complacent on these areas. Export markets wait for no one. Here as well, we will consult widely to make sure that Kenya's trade matches her potential. Another challenge I ought to mention is the high cost of trade finance. It has become clear that export expansion of the magnitude we expect depends on reasonably priced risk cover for our exporters. The Cabinet Secretaries in National Treasury, in Industry and Trade have a clear task before them. They have been tasked to look into the possibility of establishing an export insurance guarantee scheme to provide export credit insurance support to Kenyan exporters. Let me close with a final policy change that the government has committed to make. For decades, the Export Promotion Council has led the way in our international trade. Their diligence and knowledge are beyond praise. They really are a success story. Now, as we enter a new phase of export policy, the time has come to clarify and streamline their operations. It seems to me that this might best be done by merging their functions with those of Brand Kenya Board to make certain that our products have the best chance of reaching new markets and doing even better in their present markets. I trust the Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Trade will make the necessary propositions so that we can implement the changes I have recommended. It remains only to thank all of you and all those who could not be here for their diligence in putting together these new policies. All of us long for the day when the hard work of Kenyan manufacturers and businesses is rewarded with recognition, respect, and sales right across the world. Your hard work has brought that day a step closer. It is now my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to officially declare the Trade Week and Exposition 2018 open. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. We move to the launch phase for the two documents and the Made in Kenya mark of identity. And